Good morning. Welcome back to my channel. This morning I want to talk about a single phrase or a single word that I just despise: termination. My last video I talked about my wife's complications with our son Hunter's pregnancy. This time, today in my video, I would like to talk about a single phrase or the single word: termination. Not a good word. I don't like that one. During the complications and everything prior to Hunter being born, they told us that we should consider termination of the pregnancy because they didn't see something in the x-rays or the ultrasounds. They said it just didn't appear to be going very well. Now, I was 41, my wife was 39 when Hunter was born. We didn't know anything, this was her child, her and my first child together. And for the longest time, we sat in the hospital, over a period of time where we couldn't even hold our son. When we were finally able to, we noticed a lot of things that were wrong, but nothing that would have helped us determine that we should end this pregnancy. It was just wrong. In my eyes, as well as hers, it was wrong. This was our son, and we were going to love him with all our hearts. And we were going to give him every opportunity at life, despite the fact of what a single doctor or a couple of doctors were saying. Now, of course, after a time when we were able to hold him and everything, we noticed that he didn't cry much. And he didn't like to be held too much. I noticed that when I would cradle him in my hand, he would lay his head in the palm of my hand, and his arms and his legs would droop over the side. And he loved that. For some reason, he just loved it. Well, it was further down the road, we discovered that Hunter had some issues. First, we had to deal with his head. From laying a certain way for a long period of time, it had elongated his skull, and we needed to fix that. And they talked about putting him in a helmet, and we didn't think about that this would help. So we took their advice and just kept moving him in his crib and to keep him to help his head develop better. As well as that, we noticed further on that he had a hole in his heart, kind of normal, and he ended up with hypospadia. I'll get into that in follow-ups if anybody wants to add any questions. By the way, my name is Alan, and if you'd like to subscribe to my channel, it'll help my channel greatly. Not just me, but it will help all of you who are watching, maybe seeking some advice or some help, or just love my stories. But after Hunter started growing more, we found out that he was still very quiet. He developed a triple hernia and had to go through operation to have some mesh put in below his lower intestines were falling out, and so we had to deal with that. But we realized shortly after that he was not developing as often or as well as a normal child. Um, he was really late with even turning over, rolling over, crawling, walking, talking. It took a long time, quite a while. And then after so many years went by, we took him in for some testing to our primary physician. They recommended that we have him tested. And that's when we were first diagnosed with Asperger's. Well, as we all know now, they put it all in a category of ASD, autism spectrum disorder. So it kind of helped explain a lot of what he was going through. He started going into school. He was quiet, not like the rest, and just because you have a child who is on this spectrum doesn't make them worse or any worse off than anybody else. They're just wired differently. They think different. But he gradually started talking, um, still having issues, and they tried us on different medications, and lots of different medications didn't work for him. Um, Ritalin and I don't know, all kinds of different medicines that they put him on, some for anxieties and everything. And I remember getting called to school one day because I ran into the high school, big transition going from elementary school to high school. And he was surrounded by teachers and staff. And when I walked in there, it broke my heart to see my son the way he was. I didn't recognize my son that day. He didn't recognize me. He was a completely different person. And he had been gouging at his eyes, and his eyes were bleeding and everything. So he went through a lot of different ordeals with Hunter. But eventually Hunter graduated from high school back in 2024. As a matter of fact, we haven't seen much since then, and it's 2026. It's because he lives in his safe spot, his bedroom. He hardly comes out. He hardly talks to us, even after almost 21 years. He'll be 21 on the 16th July. But he still doesn't talk to us very much. He's still pretty quiet, but he's content. He lives in his room. He has his PS5 to keep him preoccupied. He's just all into that. And he has a cell phone, doesn't use very much, and he has a laptop, and he mainly uses all of that for gaming and everything. But he does have aspirations. He has hopes and dreams like everybody else. And I just want you all to know that even with the struggles that you may endure, just keep faith, keep hope, because not only does it make you stronger as a family, but it also helps you understand more about life. And that's the bottom line. That's basically what it's all about, is life. Giving our children the opportunities to grow, to experience everything that life has to offer. And I feel as though Hunter's greatest days ahead are still coming. We hope for him. We hope for a brighter future and hope for the best for him. And we'll never stand in his way, and no matter what he decides to do. And this has all just prepared us in life. That what we thought was normal isn't. That we all have to endure, and we all have our struggles, and we all have to grow as a family. And it helped prepare us for what's coming next in future videos. And I'll get into that soon. So I hope you enjoyed this. Like and subscribe. And don't forget that all of the best chapters in our lives are those still waiting to be written. I want you all to have a wonderful week. Keep smiling, stay safe, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye.